Welcome back to the Sooner Saloon. I'm here with Nick. Emerson couldn't make it. Today we're going to talk about a little bit of SMU versus Oklahoma. We're going to talk about a little bit of recap with Arkansas State and Oklahoma. And we're going to talk about some of the stuff that went down over the weekend. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
So, Oklahoma, Arkansas State. I don't want to stay on it too long because we're kind of beating a dead horse. It's Arkansas State, okay? It's Arkansas State. But 73-0 at home. Nick, I'm going to tell you, that's probably the best Oklahoma's looked in a home opener since probably...
It's been over 100 years, hadn't it, since we pitched a shutout and won by that many points?
Well, I'm saying in a home opener with Oklahoma recently, that's the best they've looked since like 2007 when they beat North Texas 79-10 with Sam Bradford's opening year. But yeah, you're right. That is the biggest ass beating Oklahoma's laid down on a home opener in 106 years ago. In 1917, Oklahoma beat Central Oklahoma 99-0. So, any thoughts about how they played against Arkansas State? Like I said, I don't want to stay on it too long, but I mean, I'd like to talk about it since we didn't actually make a video over it.
Let's think about this. 2022 is such a disappointing year. There's no better way to start the 2023 campaign with a 73-0 blowout win.
Right.
If you're Brent Venables and the staff, this is exactly how you'd want it to go. Us as fans, I didn't expect it.
I didn't either.
Somebody commented on our last video, we're going to win 77-0, and I think we all chuckled at that, but he was about 4 points off from his prediction. On SMU, I want to go ahead and get into that. This is a team that their offense, they're going to go rapid pace. They're very similar to Oklahoma's offense. Oklahoma was lining up against Arkansas State, getting the ball and lining up on the ball and getting the snap off within about 10 to 12 seconds. And it was very rapid fire. First possession, they go down in 5 plays and score. And, of course, Gavin Freeman returns a punt return right after that, and it set the tone for the entire game. But this SMU offense, it starts with quarterback Preston Stone. He was a very highly recruited guy out of Texas. He had offers from Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Ohio State, and I think you get the point by now. He's talented young sophomore. He loves to air it out deep. He's going to give opportunities for our DBs, Gentry Williams, Woody Washington, to make some plays on the football. He had some overthrows against Louisiana Tech. His final stat lines, 23 for 37, 248 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Also have a highly regarded wide receiver in Jaden Hudson. On 3 had him as a 5-star. Sophomore, he's only got 14 career catches with 174 yards and 3 touchdowns going into week 1. He had a 67-yard touchdown catch from Stone, and he ran with it, scored a touchdown. Again, the deep ball, it's going to be there. I saw our defensive backs. I pointed this out to you as we were watching the game Saturday. They're turning their head back. They're getting their eyes on the football. We're not seeing the old yellow hanky trick getting tossed onto the grass. Okay, we're all tired of that as Sooner fans. Jalen Knighton, Miami transfer, is the starter for this offense. Rhett Lashley is their head coach. He was the offensive coordinator for Miami in 2020 to 21 season. He's a 4-star recruit, Mr. Jalen Knighton. But honestly, he never really got started against Louisiana Tech. Sure, he started the game, but he never got on a roll, is what I mean. Their backup, on the other hand, running back L.J. Johnson, he had a very good day. He had a 67-yard explosive run for a touchdown, finished the day with 128 yards with 14 carries, averaging 9.1 a carry. So, I don't know. I think this D-line against Arkansas State played really well. Only gave up 48 rushing yards against Arkansas State. I think we should still dominate up front. That's what I expect. I wish we would have had a better pass rush, but it's week 1, and I think we have enough depth where we're going to see that, and they will get better as time goes on. Anything you want to add on defense before we go Oklahoma offense?
No, I didn't really say at the beginning. Oklahoma comes out as a 16.5-point favorite. We'll see how that goes. So, I don't know. Let's move to the offense.
Yeah. When you're putting up 73 points, I think we rotated about 87, 89 guys against Arkansas State.
It was I think it was 89.
That's incredible, guys. That's
good. That's good. You want to see that the first game because you want to get those younger guys experience, like Jackson Arnold. That dude, he was 10 for 10 in the game, and he got some good experience. He got some good reps early just in case Dylan Gabriel goes out, God forbid. Okay. So, yeah, go ahead. I'm getting off track, but continue. Go ahead.
So, against Arkansas State, Dylan Gabriel goes 19 of 22 for 308 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, 80% completion rate, QBR rating of 97.1. That is 3rd in the country right now. I thought Dylan Gabriel was making fast decisions. I thought he was getting the ball out quick, and he was super efficient, even downfield passing. Andrew Anthony stood out. That first possession of the game goes deep for Andrew Anthony. Heard a lot of good things about him in fall camp. Kind of the same types of situations. Like you said, Jackson Arnold. He goes 11 for 11, 114 yards.
I think it was 10 for 10.
I think you're wrong, but it's okay.
Am I wrong?
I think you're wrong.
I'm going to Google it.
But it's okay.
I'm going to Google it. Go ahead.
He had a passing touchdown. He had a rushing touchdown. QBR rating of 95. Running backs, on the other hand, we had a lot of guys rotated in. We had Tawi Walker, Marcus Major, Barnes, Hicks, and Smothers get into the game. Okay?
I'm wrong.
You were wrong?
I was wrong. It's 11 for 11.
I told you. Okay. Anyways, running backs. A lot of guys got rotated in. Not a lot of guys had really the opportunity to get settled, I would say. I think the longest run was 16 yards by Javonte Barnes. I'm looking for that opportunity where one of these guys breaks one loose for, 35 yards and a touchdown. A long run and a touchdown.
That's okay. That's okay that was...
And I'm nitpicking.
That's okay. You want to see everybody being rotated out, but at the end of the day, the chemistry, the mechanics, everything that it was Arkansas State. Everything that they put in, it just looked like it ran smooth. And that's all I care about right now.
It
did. And this team is and it's been one game. It's been one game, but they got so much more depth than they had last year. I mean,
what we've been hearing all offseason is competitive depth.
So far, it's been that way, right? Yes, and that's what you want to see. When games like Texas happens last year, when you have holes in every position, especially quarterback. You want to have a quarterback out there that can at least throw the ball 5 damn yards forward.
Right. Right.
So yeah, with these running backs, I'm excited to see somebody to break out. I am. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen this Saturday.
And here's the thing. Whoever is starting, all 5 of these guys, Walker, Major, Barnes, Hicks, Smothers, that's without mentioning Gavin Sawchuk, who was injured, a little bit banged up, nothing too serious. All of these guys are fully capable of being a starting running back somewhere in a Power 5 school. I'm confident in that. So whoever is starting, whoever's in the game, fully capable of breaking off that long run. In short yardage situations, 3rd and 2, dominating up front. I was never concerned, are we gonna pick up this first down? It didn't matter. We had a good push, and pass protection looked great. Dylan Gabriel had so much time to throw. Wide receivers, quick update on Drake Stoops. It was an AC joint. He was in a sling. He's going to be eligible to return at any time. Do I imagine seeing him this Saturday? No. If I was coaching staff, I wouldn't do it.
No, they're babying him. Actually, they said in the press conference yesterday that he was wanting to come back in the game that day. But coach said, no, we don't need you. Relax. Sit back. We're going to baby you. You'll be fine.
And I think he finished with like 4 receptions for like 56 yards, something relative to that. And, if he would have stayed
a touchdown.
And a touchdown. And if he would have stayed in, according to Drake Stoops, he said he would have had 200 yards. So we've already mentioned Gavin Freeman. Last season, his first touch goes for a touchdown. This season, his first touch on a punt return goes for a touchdown. There's a reason why they call him G Freaky.
Didn't know that.
Jaden Gibson, a guy who we've seen struggle in the past, makes 2 incredible catches on 50-50 balls. Goes up, one for a touchdown, the other one short at the one.
Yeah.
Very competitive receptions there. You couldn't ask for much more. He needs that. Wide receivers, we've already mentioned Andrew Anthony. He had a big day. Nick Anderson stepped up, made 2 big-time catches, finished the day, I think, with 68 yards and led the team. Just that depth that you want to see. My only concern with the wide receiver core, no catches from Jalil Farouk. He had a run that went for 10 to 12 yards, but nothing from Jalil Farouk. And that's going to come. I think wide receivers will be okay. Like we've mentioned, it was a 73-0 blowout win. I'm not too concerned with it. I think it's going to be the same for SMU. They have a good defensive front. They're going to the ACC next year. I think their defensive front is what stands out the most to me. They're big guys, but I still have confidence in our polished up offensive line.
Do you think they cover the spread 16.5 points?
I think they do.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a much more competitive game than what we saw a week ago, but
more. It'll probably be more competitive. I don't know. I can't predict what Oklahoma's going to do yet. It's been one game, 73-0. It was Arkansas State. Everybody needs to relax, but at the same point, god dang, they looked very smooth doing it. You know what I mean? So I think they cover the spread. I honestly do.
Yeah. If I was betting on it, I'd say they do cover the spread. I think it'll be a 45 to 21 type of game, and
48-12. 48-12.
Okay.
Are
those touchdowns or are those field goals? Where are those?
I think they score at least one touchdown. I do. I think they get a couple field goals in there. 12, 14, 17. I don't know. I honestly don't think SMU score over 17 points. I don't think they will. At the same point, they beat the shit out of them last week, but Oklahoma really wasn't trying that hard.
They could have named the score.
They could have. They were running basic plays,
And something that I forgot to mention, Jaquez Petaway, he had 9 receptions, and it was clearly Jackson Arnold's favorite target. That's just something in the future to watch for.
There you go. Absolutely. And on top of that, so the Big 12 looked all right and looked like shit at the same time over the past weekend. There's a couple of games that kind of stood out to me. Last night, Clemson goes down 28-7 at Duke. I think Clemson shot themselves in the foot multiple times.
They were on the goal line at the 1st and goal, I want to say, about 3 times, turned it over.
Fumbles.
And then killed themselves with penalties at the same time in those scenarios.
Right, and then LSU lost to Florida State 45-24. That was an ass kicking. Colorado took it to TCU. I mean, I'm kind of surprised in how Colorado came out and punched them in the mouth, the national championship runner-up. I don't know about you guys. I don't know about you, Nick, but I like Coach Prime, and I love it. I think he's cool as shit. I think his attitude's awesome, and he doesn't care. He's building the dynasty over there in Colorado, and he started last weekend.
Yep, he's cocky for sure, but here's the thing: he can back it up, and he's doing just that. When you take off the runner-up for the national championship, you're doing something right.
Right, and then Baylor lost to Texas State,
and I want to say they were a 20-point favorite in that game too.
Right,
probably the most disappointing loss in the Big 12.
Yeah, and then you got Texas Tech that lost to Wyoming in overtime, 35-33.
Teams in the Big 12 that stood out to me. Watch out for UCF. I've
They
stated
looked
it.
sharp.
I stated it in the offseason. They looked really good. They beat Kent State 56-6. Kansas had a slow start against Missouri State, but in the second half they stepped it up. They beat Missouri State 48-17.
K-State pitched a what was the score?
Yep,
Was it a shutout?
45-0.
That's what I thought. Yeah. And then OU got the shutout. Okay, Nick, what are your top 3 power rankings for the Big 12 right now? After week 1, top 3 power rankings.
Top 3 power rankings.
1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, and 3. Based on strictly week 1, what I saw in week 1.
No, based off of week 1, based off of what people are coming, or based off of returning starters, and based off of what they did last year with everything you know about the teams right now going into week 2, what are your top 3 for the Big 12?
I'm going to go with Kansas State 1. They Big 12 defending champion. They get a shutout, 45-0. I'm going to go with Kansas State.
Gabe's pissed. He's giving you the stank eye back there.
It's tough shit. I'm going to go Oklahoma number 2. They beat Arkansas State 73-0. I think they have a lot of returning starters. Not really a lot of returning starters, but a lot of returning guys that are going to provide a lot for this team. Do I want to say it? No, I don't, but I'll go Texas 3. They didn't look great against Rice, slow start, but they won 37-10. They have a lot of depth, and I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to say that they overlooked Rice, and they're thinking about Alabama in week 2.
I hope that's what it is. I hope Texas beats Alabama next week. I hope they do.
For what reason? Go elaborate.
Because I want Texas to go in there, and I want them to beat Alabama. I want the best of Texas. I want Texas in a high spirits. I want them happy. I want them motivated. I want them to go out there. I want them undefeated against Oklahoma. And then I want Oklahoma to go out there and just beat the shit out of them, because I want them to feel what we felt last year. Granted, we had 1 loss already. We weren't quite there last year. But I want the best of Texas. I want all or nothing against them, okay? Yeah, if we lose to Texas and Texas beat Alabama and Oklahoma, cool. We might even get to play them again for round 2 in the Big 12 championship. But I want Alabama to lose to Texas. I do.
I would probably agree with that. But if we lose to Texas, we're never going to hear the end of it.
No.
So would I mind?
They're not as bad as Oklahoma State fans.
Yeah.
I don't think they are.
But
Texas is
would I mind
hate.
if Texas got skull dragged by 64 points to Alabama? No, I wouldn't. I think it'd be kind of funny.
I don't think it would be appropriate for Nick to say what he actually thought, what he told me the other day.
Yeah,
what
we're
he
not
wanted
going to repeat that.
No.
We're going to keep it PG, maybe PG-13 at the worst.
So my top 3 for the Big 12, I got Kansas State. Sorry, Gabe, at number 1. I got Texas at 2, just because I think they overlooked Rice. Mm-hmm. And they got a lot of talent on that roster.
They do.
And I got Oklahoma at 3. At 4, I got a tie between UCF and Kansas. If I had to give the nod for 4, I'd probably put UCF over Kansas just a little bit. Sorry, Gabe, I love you. So.
Yep. So.
Anything else? We're running up on, what are we at right now? How much
15
time?
minutes.
15 minutes, 17 minutes, something like that. We can't see the clock. 19 minutes. Okay. So at the end of the day, 16.5-point favorite Oklahoma over SMU. ESPN Plus. If you do not have ESPN Plus, you're going to have to pay for it. I'm sorry. That's just how it works. It sucks. Whatever. But 5 o'clock p.m. ESPN Plus. SMU 1-0 at 18 Oklahoma. 16.5-point favorite. I say they cover the spread. Nick, you say they cover the spread.
Yep.
Boom.
So, with that being said, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And comment on the video. Give us a score. Give us a prediction.
Exactly. And if you want to give us good reviews, you can. If you want to give us bad comments, you can. Comments are comments. I don't care. So,
with that being said, Boomer Sooner.